name is Roz. This is the first real video I'm going to be doing for this channel. Some quick formalities out of the way. Like the video, share the video. If you want to see more, if you would like to support me in this endeavor of my gaming insanity, please follow me on Patreon at Eonian Gaming. Alright, so the disclaimers are out of the way. One more, I'm not a pro gamer. I am also prone to swear, so if you have children that watch videos, this may not be something you want them to watch. So, Eonian Gaming. Basically, I'm going to give you the mission statement here as I'm stuck in Venom Spite. The mission statement is, I've been gaming since I was about 5 years old. I've loved video games my entire life. I am a big Warcraft fan, and some of the best times I've ever had playing Warcraft happened during the expansion Wrath of the Lich King. I was part of a guild on the Daramir server called Eonian Animus. I was invited in. I was welcomed in on my death night, when I had no idea what I was doing with at the time. Became really good friends with the GM. Got really, really comfortable with the group of people I played. And it turns out I'm kind of a dick. And one of my favorite pastimes was torturing my GM with random stuff. The very first video, I am going into the first Wrath of the Lich King raid that we had full cleared when it was current content, I believe. And I'm going to tell you some fun stories about said clear. So, back in the day, I'm going to set it to 10-man. I know we can do it at 25, but I need some 10-man achievements, I think. Anyway, so back in the day, as you can see, have to fly up here to the summoning stone. This little platform was ground zero. We were on a PvP server at the time, so one of the Horde, I know I'm on a Horde tune, but one of the coolest trolls you could do is you could fly your druid up here, because druids had flight form, and cast Typhoon. Typhoon did a knockback, so anybody that was standing like right here, or right here, or right here, or right here, got knocked off the platform and killed, and you could get a bunch of honorable kills real quick that way. The other thing too is back in the day there used to be about 1,000 people standing right at this stone summoning their guildies to come for a raid. And one day I was bored, and so my GM, who the lovely Ice Bonita, I would not be half the player I am today without her. So I got nothing but love for her. She was such a good sport about all of my bullshit. I was bored while we were summoning. So what I did was I threw down a dual flag right here. Thinking, because all we're doing is clicking on names and spam clicking to get our summons in. Lo and behold, Ice accept my duel. I'm like, alright, it's go time. So I'm on my priest, who was one of the 2 healers of our raid group. I cast Mind Control, and I just take control of Ice's character and walk her over here, and then she falls to her death. It was really funny because she was in vent, couldn't understand why she lost control of her character, couldn't understand why she died, read the combat log, and then she cursed me out in Spanish in a way only Ice could do. Ice rarely, if ever, swore. She would call me wonderful things like Mother Frito. She'd also swear at me in Spanish. It was a great moment in Warcraft history. I'm not going to lie. Still one of my favorite moments of all time in this game. So, in Naxxaramas, it's a pretty basic 10-man raid. It's broken down into wings, which was really nice because it allowed our guild to just, before we got too burned out on something, we weren't hardcore raiding, so we would do a wing a night. One of the first wing we did was the Arachnid wing, and it's a pretty easy. All right, that's creepy, dude. Anyway, the Arachnid wing was the easiest wing, so it was the first one we had tackled. We cleared it not too difficult. It was a pretty good run, and we extended the raid lockouts. We'd do like 1 or 2 wings a week, and then we finally did a full clear. Later on, a couple of my friends, we broke off. We decided we were going to see how far we could push our abilities back in Wrath of the Lich King, and this was end game Wrath, so the Ice Crown Citadel raid had already been released. So 5 of us. It was me, 1 other tank, 2 healers, and 1 DPS. We went in here to see how far we could clear a 10-man raid with 5 people. We didn't do bad. I'm not gonna lie. We cleared the Arachnid wing, the wing I'm currently in. I'm not looting any of this crap. It's not worth it. It's just gonna take up inventory space. But yeah, we cleared the first wing, not too bad. Anything that had an enraged timer was a little bit difficult because anything with an enraged timer is a DPS check. If you only have 1 DPS, it's not going to go well. Alright, Lady Farina. This pull here with 10 people, oh, disaster could strike at any moment. Someone not paying attention. I'm looking at you, Tal. Myself included at times. I'm not going to say I was perfect player. I was prone to all kinds of bad decisions. The Christmas Eve raid of the Black Temple, when I was drunk off my ass, singing Christmas carols and deciding that I was going to pull a boss while everyone was AFK except for like 2 people. Yeah, I'm prone to bad decisions too. Yay, got a 10-man achievement that I didn't have, which is weird. Oh, that's right, new character. This is not my original Roz. My original Roz is a warlock, which was also a fun way I trolled Ice back in the day. So PvP servers, you could only have either Alliance or Horde per account. And I had decided I was going to transfer my Warlock over to Daramir. And I didn't tell anybody, but I was grouped up with Ice. We were in Storm Peaks we were in some Northrend zone. It was either Storm Peaks or Zuldrak. I think it was Zuldrak. Anyway, get my Warlock on the server. And the very first thing I do is I start actively hunting Ice. So I go AFK. I'm in vent, but I'm AFK. I log out, and I was like, I'll be right back. I got to check some stuff, some kind of bullshit like that. And so I know exactly where Ice is at. And then I don't remember what I said. I was doing something with my computer trying to optimize the graphics card. I don't even remember what the hell I said. It was a pure bullshit excuse. I said I was doing something that was well outside my skill set with the computer, but she bought it hook, line, and sinker. Anyway, I fly up to where we were at, and I hear her say, "Hey, Roz, this warlock has the same name as you do." And I'm like, huh, that's weird. And then I'm on my warlock, mind you. So I cast immolation, and she just loses her mind. She's like, "Oh, that's stupid." I don't remember if she actually swore at this point, but I know she said something along the lines that this undead warlock was some kind of lady of ill repute. Uh, she's like, "Oh no, oh no, she's setting me on fire. Roz, get back on here. I need heals." Blah blah blah. I did end up killing her, but we also had a hunter in our group who did end up killing me, which kind of sucked, but it was still fun nonetheless. All right, wing one closed. So yes, all who trespass here are doomed. All right, so the other thing is I'm trying to find Mr. Bigglesworth, um, because I cannot not kill this cat if I'm in here. I don't know if he's been removed from the game or not, but yeah, it was a good time. And Kel'Thuzad loses his mind. So the next fun story about Naxxaramas and this guild happened in the room after this. So we're getting ready. We're clearing the plague quarter or the construct quarter. And I was healing, and we had a druid healer. I was on my disc priest, and we had a druid healer. Her name was Jazalyn, who I still talk to this day. Speaking of which, I would like to thank everyone from the guild who still talks to me after some of the random stuff that has happened. So, anyway, this room here has all these little slimes that I'm kind of highlighting, the embalming slimes. It was a bad pull. I don't know if I had a lag spike or something happened, but Jez and I could not get any heals off. 8 people dead. It's just me and her. I hear her invent. She's like, "Don't worry, I'll save you, Roz." And she goes bear form. Well, when she went bear form, she had less health than I did. So she's trying to tank these mobs while I am healing. I am spam healing the ever-loving shit out of her while the rest of the raid runs back to save us. Good timing. I or out of mana'd right as Ice showed up. She charged in. I quit spamming the buttons because I was out of mana, and Jazz was able to solo heal the rest of the raid. I don't know why it was such an important thing to not wipe, especially since we hadn't even made it to the first boss of the wing yet. But it was a matter of principle that we weren't going to wipe for whatever reason that was. Patchwork was one of those ones that was a gear check back in the day. The things I do miss were, like, for example, some of the stuff we did um, as a healer. I really never had to pay attention to the explanations of the boss fights. Um, Healers have one job: heal people. Um, if we if we don't, the raid wipes. It's pretty simple. So as far as any mechanics go, anything like interrupts, who has to do what when, stop this, cleanse this, dispel this. Other than the cleanses and the dispels, healers really didn't have to do shit other than just heal and not stand in the brightly colored floor that would kill you if you stood in it too long. Back in the day, I think it was one of our first runs, another druid healer who happened to be Ice's brother, Stip. Amazing healer. He retired from WoW a long time ago, but absolutely amazing healer. So Ice would be, she would have notes, and you'd hear these notes shuffling during vent or through vent, and it was great because we just make fun of it. It's like, oh, do you have a bookshelf going on over there? Or it's like, did I hear a bookshelf? Are we in a library? What's going on? Just random dumb shit like that. And then at the end of Ice explaining the boss fights, it was, does anyone have any questions? Like, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, we weren't paying attention at all during the explanation. What do we do? And but yeah, as a healer, you had a couple of roles: heal stuff, don't stand in stuff, and profit. This boss fight was really fun. It was a DPS check too, but like some of the best things about this were how many people failed jumping. Half the raid went one side, the other half went the other, and that jump right there killed a lot of people. Why is Thaddeus not being spawned? Oh, because dude's still alive. Why are they still alive? Okay, I killed both of them. Tesla coils overload. Okay. Yeah, Thaddeus. Shut the hell up. But this jump failed so many people. It was just great. Half the raid would be down in the pit and have to run back. It was great the day I failed it because, yeah, one of the two healers isn't anywhere near the raid. Plague Quarter, the only real thing I remember about this wing was we found a way to cheese Huygen in the safety dance. There was one little, there was a dead zone where the eruption didn't happen, and we managed to stack the whole raid there. We wiped about 5 times trying to find where the eruption spot was, but when we found it, it was glorious. We didn't have to do anything. We just killed the boss and went on. Raid mechanics are hard, folks, especially if you try to tell people to... Especially if you're trying to get people to move and talk and cast spells at the same time. Don't stand on the green stuff. Okay, gotcha. Gonna totally stand in the green stuff. No, I said don't stand in the green. Back in the day, also when I was a healer, my biggest pet peeve were hunters. Oh my god, even to this day, I hate hunters. And this is nothing against the people personally who play hunters, but y'all suck. You're terrible human beings, and you need to rethink out your life. The But my DPS will go down if I move. Yeah, well, your life will go down if you don't move. So, I mean, priorities. Man, how much shit do I still have following me? I can't have that much. Fuck it. It's not like I need to mount or anything. So this is Hagen, the world famous safety dance of Naxx. Now, it was like right here. This was like the one spot the eruption would not hit you during the safety dance. Sorry, I'm killing everybody way too fast for anyone to see what the safety dance looks like. Trust me, it wasn't that exciting. We just had to move around to avoid. We had to move in a very specific pattern not to die. Also, bear in mind this expansion is 10 years old now. It's still a good expansion. I still loved it. This raid here was a re-release of the final raid tier of Vanilla WoW, but because not a whole lot of people got to experience the end game of this, because this was released like 5 months or 6 months before the Burning Crusade was released, a lot of people didn't get to experience it. They re-released it in Wrath. Me doing zero research on any of the updates to the game, when I heard that Naxx was going to be part of the first raid tier, I went apeshit and leveled a priest for the very purpose of getting into a raid group. Sorry, needed a drink there. So the purpose of having a priest in the raid group is there is one boss in particular, and that is Razuvius. He's the first boss of the military construct. We're going to go find him next. But anyway, he required 4 priests in the raid group to take him down. The thing is, the priests had to mind control some ads to tank the boss. Because the boss himself would one-shot anybody he hit. So the ads had to be mind controlled and tanked. I didn't pay any attention to any notes or how they were redoing the game format or anything like that, but they made it so that it did not require a priest to mind control in Naxx. So I switched to discipline healing, and my other fun story about Ice is the main reason I learned how to heal. She was probably the most patient and understanding and just wonderful human being I've ever met in my entire life in this game, because she sacrificed time, guild money, and other players' gear for me to finally learn how to heal. That's Razuvius, the guy that required the mind control. Being one shot isn't very exciting, I know, but I don't care. I'm not doing it. 2 more bosses, then Sapphiron, and then Kel'Thuzad, and I'll end this video. So yeah, this was such a fun raid. Doing a wing a night was always a good idea. That way we didn't get too burned out. If things weren't going well, we weren't really time committed that we were going to try to do a full clear in one night. Because as I'm blowing through this one-shotting everything, you can imagine 10 people taking the time to actually kill a boss. Some of the boss fights, like Patchwork, I think he had an 8-minute enrage timer. So if you didn't get him killed in 8 minutes, you wiped. And that was a real thing. That was a very real thing that you could possibly die if you didn't get him killed because it was a gear check. Now this fight feels a little buggy at times as you try to solo it. I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to. So this fight was all about ad control. So I'm on the living side, and when you kill something, they go over onto the other side of this fence and are the dead side, where you have to kill everything again. Well, it's all about ad control. If the live side was killing stuff way too quick, and we were sending stuff to the dead side way too quick, the dead side could get overwhelmed, and we could wipe the raid. Vice versa. If you don't kill the stuff fast enough on the live side, you'll get overwhelmed because these things will spawn regardless if you're ready or not. So you would send shit over here, and if somebody, like, okay, well, we got a spirit left, we got a death knight left, we got this left, we got a horse left, just slow down your DPS for a couple seconds. So we can get this down so we're not overwhelmed. Communication was really cool back then, especially when you got 10 people working together. The biggest fears, though, were the horses. I don't remember why. I think they had a fear or a knockback or a stun or something. They were priority when they spawned. Haven't seen any horses spawn yet, but trust me, they were priorities. See, there's one. And then every so often the gate would open up and the gate opens up, everyone comes running at me. Should we try not to just have everybody come at? And it was so much better too, because once everything was dead on the live side and everybody was able to come over to the dead side, we were able to rocket through this shit so fast. It also released a lot of pressure off of people, i.e. me. I hated the roles I had sometimes. I still like to this day, I'm kind of terrified to tank endgame content because there's an awful lot of stress involved in it. That you are responsible for taunting, you are responsible for basically keeping everybody alive and knowing the mechanics. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not as good as I used to be. And I sometimes get distracted by watching TV. Like, of course, that's never stopped. That was me totally back in the day. Lots of people died because I was watching TV when I was healing. One time I fell asleep while I was healing. It was actually kind of funny. Another fun story involving Ice Bonita. She had me be loot master one night while we were doing Obsidian Sanctum. That raid is not difficult. It I ended up only spamming one button the entire time, and it was like 3 in the morning, so it was like 6 a.m. Um, or no, it was 3 a.m. server time, so it was midnight. No, it was 3 a.m. Eastern Coast, which is where I live. So anyway, 3 a.m. local, midnight server. I am tired. Ice lives in California, so midnight's not that bad for her, but my god, was I tired. So I'm only spamming one heal button. So I'm only spamming the group heal, and I fell asleep just spamming my number 3 key. We dropped the boss. I obviously wasn't paying attention to anything in this fight because I was asleep. And then after the boss is dead, I am still healing. And they're like, so are we going to distribute the loot? And I hear Ice just yelling in vent. That's what woke me up. It's like, Roz, 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 Roz! I'm like, what? Are you going to distribute the loot? Oh, yeah. So that's how. So this is the 4 horsemen. I actually have to let them get into position before I can. Four Horsemen was such a fun fight back in the day. And military quarter is dropped. Alright, only 2 more bosses and this video will be over. I want to thank everybody that has been watching this. It's been kind of fun going through this again. Now this fight in vanilla required so much frost resist gear that it was ridiculous. Um, vanilla WoW was really hard. And I don't mean it was like hard mechanic wise, it was hard getting gear wise. Somebody figured it out recently that it costs about 1,000 gold a week to um, raid Naxxaramas in vanilla to get your potions, your flasks, your gear. It's like, holy crap. And you have to get like the top gear out of AQ 40s before you can even go attempt some of the fights in Naxx. This being the first raid tier of Wrath of the Lich King, all you really needed was some heroic gear, mostly heroic gear, and then we were good to go. So the voiceovers in here also are a new thing from Wrath of the Lich King. There was no voiceover. There was no Lich King. Love this fight. We bugged it the first time we attempted it. Had a mage and a death knight combo in our guild. They were 2 sisters. One was named Juju and one was named Tumble. Tumble was the mage. Great players. They also were part of the gear sacrifice night to teach me how to heal. I got a lot of respect and love for them as well, for putting up with the I don't know. I like honestly, I don't. I'm patient to a point, but I get what my son's mom calls tank mentality. Whereas I just fucking go, pull, 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 pull. God damn, I don't have time to explain this shit. This game's 4 years old now. Um, which is weird because I really like and appreciate people who take the time to teach me stuff, but I don't have the patience for it, and that makes me a terrible human being. I know, but it is part of the toxic WoW community. It's kind of what we do. I do, though, however, I've gotten a lot better with being patient with newer players and stuff, but I do have a three wipe policy. If we're not making any improvement after three attempts on a boss, if like if we pull a boss and we get to only get them down to like 90%, and then the next pull we get them down to 80%, and the pull after that we get to 60%, and the pull after that we get to 45. I'll stick around. If we're stuck on a phase of the boss, like we constantly can't get them past like 75% because of a change in mechanics, I'm done. Three times. If we can't get it, I'm done. I know that's also kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say it's toxic because that makes me toxic, but it is kind of toxic. But the game has so much going on, and everybody has their own stuff to do. That time in this game, especially if you're a filthy casual like I am, is very important. Like, I don't know. I have to do farming. I have to do leveling up my alts. I have gear to get. I have, yeah, there's a lot going on. So if you're I don't have the time like I did back in like Burning Crusade where I could spend 7 hours in Karazhan wiping until 4 a.m. until we finally did a full clear. And when I say we wiped until 4 a.m., I mean we started playing at 3 in the afternoon. But there wasn't a whole lot going on back then. There's only 2 expansions and like 1 tier of ratings, so oh, good. So yeah, I've bugged this a lot, whereas bad shit happened and I had to restart the fight. And Tumble and Juju were there the one night we bugged it and had to start all over. So it's also very interesting that Kel'Thuzad there with his "I'll return with powers beyond your imagining." We are now 10 years later, and we're approaching patch 9.1 for Shadowlands, and one of the bosses is Kel'Thuzad. So that's exciting. The current game of Shadowlands has a lot of stuff tied to Wrath of the Lich King, which is why I'm enjoying Shadowlands as much as I am. Anyway, that concludes this video. I want to thank you all for watching again. Like the video, share the video. Once again, if you're so inclined, follow me at Patreon at Eonian Gaming. That is it for now. This is Roz, signing off.